You ever notice how the cheap 24-inch range you snag on a flash sale looks perfect in the catalog, only to leave you juggling a half-cooked stir-fry on one burner while the other three barely heat up? That moment of buyer's remorse is the exact thing I was trying to avoid when I started looking at a full-size gas range that promised a professional-grade cooktop without the restaurant price tag. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The thing that kept me up at night wasn't whether the unit looked sleek, it was whether the extra cost would actually translate into a kitchen that works for real meals, not just Instagram photos. I've spent the last few weeks cooking breakfast for a family of 4, testing a Sunday roast, and even throwing a quick air fry snack together, all with the FORNO Breno full gas 24-inch range. The biggest hesitation I had was the dual fuel claim. It says you can run the cooktop on gas and the oven on electricity, or convert both to gas. That sounds flexible, but it also raised a red flag about complexity, installation headaches, and hidden costs. If you're the type who reads the fine print before any home improvement purchase, you'll want to know exactly what you're signing up for. First off, the 4 sealed burners are genuinely professional in the sense that they're spaced far enough apart to hold big pots, and the continuous cast iron grates slide smoothly. I ran a pot of chili on the largest burner, cranked it to high, and the flame hit the bottom of the pot evenly, no hot spots, no need to keep adjusting the pot position. That consistency mattered when I was simmering a sauce for a pasta night. The lower burners maintained a steady low flame that let the sauce reduce without scorching. If you're someone who likes to multitask, think a saute on one side, a simmer on another, and a quick boil on a third. This layout saves you the dance you'd do around cramped, uneven burners on cheaper models. The convection oven is where the Breno starts to show its real value, especially with the included air fry kit. I loaded a tray of frozen sweet potato fries, set the temperature to 400 F, and hit the air fry function. In about 15 minutes the fries came out crisp on the outside, soft on the inside, and I didn't have to preheat a separate appliance. For a family that loves quick, healthier snacks, that integration cuts down on both countertop clutter and the number of dishes you have to wash. It also means you can roast a chicken on a rack while the air fry basket does the fries beneath, something a single cavity oven would struggle with without a second oven in the house. The triple-layer insulated glass door is more than a flashy feature. It actually keeps the kitchen from turning into a sauna when the oven is on high for an extended roast. During a 2-hour turkey bake, the kitchen temperature rose only a few degrees, and the door stayed cool enough that I could open it without the immediate blast of heat you get with single-pane doors. That's a practical benefit for anyone who lives in a smaller apartment or doesn't want the oven to dominate the room's climate. Now, let's talk about the downsides, because no range is perfect. The first thing I noticed is the weight. The Breno's stainless steel body, cast iron grates, and heavy glass door add up to a unit that feels solid, but that also means you need a clear path and a couple of strong hands for installation. If you're planning a DIY setup in a tight kitchen, you might need a professional to get it through the doorway and onto the floor. The user manual mentions a dual fuel conversion kit, but it doesn't include the kit itself. That means an extra purchase if you truly want gas for both cooktop and oven, and you'll have to schedule a licensed plumber or technician to make the change. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a hidden cost that cheap models simply don't have because they stick to one fuel source. Another practical wrinkle is the storage drawer. It's handy for keeping spatulas, thermometers, and a few small pans within arm's reach, but the drawer slides on a simple rail rather than a soft close mechanism. If you're the type who slams drawers shut, you'll hear the clunk, and over time the rails could loosen. That said, it's still far more convenient than a freestanding countertop organizer, especially when you're juggling multiple dishes. Who should seriously consider the Breno? If you're a home cook who regularly uses more than 2 burners, think big batches, family meals, or a hobby of experimenting with different cooking techniques, the 4-burner layout will feel like a breath of fresh air. The air fry capability is a sweet bonus for anyone who wants healthier fried foods without buying a separate appliance. And if you're sensitive to kitchen temperature swings, the insulated oven door will keep things comfortable during long bakes. Who might skip it? If you live in a studio apartment with